What is going on, YouTube? PPS back here. Just past the prop time. MLB edition. Fat slate all day. My Brewers start here in an hour, so you know I'm ready for it. Joining as always by my guy Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's our first official baseball-only slate with obviously the NBA getting out of the way of college basketball tonight. We've got a full, great slate. Can turn all of our attention to one sport. I'm fired up, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, MLB, I think you've been doing pretty well on those too, right? Stolen bases and all that shit. You've been rolling on those. I don't think I haven't bet one of those yet this year. So I'm happy to see you're doing well. Obviously, MLB's starting out pretty well for both of us. So I'm happy to see that we're coming back together for an MLB season.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I'm kind of like sitting back, playing some of the long shots, messing around with some of the new markets, and then you're already locked in. You've got the same exact kind of formula we were rolling with last year a lot with those parlays. I know those play of the day videos have been doing well, so it's good. It's good to start off the year with a little bit of momentum. And hey, as we get more and more data, more and more information, then I feel more comfortable laying down, some more heavy money and getting some wins on the board.
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost sad to see NBA go. I think we're on 6 straight profitable slates. I think of my last 14. I'm 12-2 on those, so we're super happy to see those. Unfortunately, it's got to go away. It's getting to the time where we're seeing a lot of guys get benched and shit. So it's tough to bet props right now in the NBA because it's really you only have 8 teams that are playing for something. You only have 5 guys that actually look good on props, and half the time they're not even good value stuff. So it's a tough time to be betting NBA. Obviously, playoff basketball is a little bit different. So maybe we talk about it a little bit more then.
Yeah, and I love this time of year. It's just real hard to actually make videos for you guys and make actual good content because the numbers come out so late. I had James Booknight 18 points and then Toronto Moneyline the other day plus 425, which was nice, but it's available on one book for 25 minutes, So it's nice that a couple people could get in on that, but unfortunately the NBA, the current last week or so of the NBA is going to be all last minute, the book's not having anything. So instead we turn our attention to MLB where we have a full day, and you guys can obviously follow on Twitter, Discord, all that kind of stuff if you want those last minute NBA spots.
Yeah, no, there's so many good games. Obviously, you're getting to the point now where it's you're seeing the 4th or 5th starters now. A lot more early in the season, I'm betting guys with strikeouts added with hit parlays. Now it's there's not many good pitchers on the slate today. Yeah. That's the hardest part with us getting to the 4th and 5th starters now in rotation. So tells you a lot. New series for everybody now as well. So should be fun. I don't know how we're let's do a quick recap here, and then we'll get going right away. I know we have a hard deadline we want to hit for you to get out of here, so we'll get through these as quick as we possibly can, and let's get going. Did we Fultz? No,
it was Denny. Fultz went off. Denny had he was 5 for 50 and something terrible like that.
And my little Andy Nebhard, I think he had another 9 assist game, which was really nice. Dude's volume was absurd again. I was not expecting him to shoot that many times. But Buddy Hield really did help, right? He got a lot more easy drives and kicks. Luckily we came through with that one. Where's the other one there? I think Claxton. Was Claxton the last one too?
I don't know. What do you mean, the next
for
play?
The last year show for the last play?
It was Cam Johnson that let us down for that one. Yeah, 1 for 7 or something like that.
And then my boy, hey, he hears Shanghai and then he goes off. That's what happens. So another one on here. Dude takes so many lulls throughout a game, which is nuts. Where he won't do shit for 4 minutes. It just pisses me off because he's on pace. Then he's not. Then he's on pace. Then he just goes and hits 3 threes. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, it was another profitable one luckily for us. And we're gonna go right into MLB, man. I'm really excited. So many games today. Outside, I'm not even gonna talk Brewers. We're not gonna talk Nets. What's our favorite game? What game are you looking at on the slate here with a slate like this?
I think it might have to be Orioles Rangers. We kind of talked about it before. There's just no pitching right now. It's a lot of young guys kind of going out there, seeing a lot of newer names. I think that's probably a pretty good matchup. I'm going to be a little bit of a a backup. You obviously see the Nats hat right here, but the Orioles are close enough. Baltimore, I might catch a couple games in person this year, so definitely got to check out those young guys.
Yeah, dude, I have a quick tie. None of them are actually tied with like what you have there, but I really, really like this this matchup tonight with the Braves and the Cardinals in St. Louis. It's going to be really shitty, I'm assuming. If it's not higher than 50 degrees, I'd be surprised here. I like that game. I think Charlie Morton is, dude, he is getting so old. I don't know how he is going to get through this lineup. And then obviously you got Woodford on the other side is a straight sinker baller. Anything elevated is gone though on this team. Like these dudes are just hitting nukes again, just starting off right where they were last year. I really like that game because it's just like these are your fourth and fifth starters, like I said. But I do like the game you talked about. But dude, Blue Jays versus Royals is where I like it, dude. I really like Singer. I had a buddy of mine, a pretty close buddy of mine, my old teammate, played with Singer down at Florida. He got a ring with him down there as well. So I've been hearing the Singer hype train for a while. So definitely been hearing about him, and obviously he took a very nice step forward at the end of last year. And the Blue Jays haven't really been like that impressive yet, right? I mean, they obviously you expect pitchers to be a little bit more advanced early on in the season, but with that lineup, dude, like that lineup should be putting up numbers. Shout out my boy Dalton Varsho, though, Milwaukee guy, another guy that I know that's playing out there. He's batting cleanup for the Blue Jays. Really cool to see out there as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good one right there. And are you buying Berrios? Are you buying a comeback this season?
I fade Jose Berrios every game, bro.
Yeah.
The man's a fucking straight trash can at this point, dude. Like, you can't just throw, like you're throwing that sinker or whatever, and it's, like, up. He throws it up. You can't move. You can't put that up in the zone or else it's not going to sink. And it's just 3 miles an hour slower than your four seam, and it's just going to get smoked. And that slider used to be absolutely devastating, dude. That thing is getting smoked too. So it's kind of weird though because the Royals haven't been hitting for shit, right? They just played Minnesota and got destroyed because they just can't hit. So curious how that's gonna go. Like my heart says I want to bet the over, but it's like I've watched them play and they both have been hitting like shit. So like how does that work, right? How does that work when one team can't hit, but then you have a pitcher that I want to fade? You know, it's like what am I? These are the ones I probably won't bet early in the season, but about 3 weeks from now, I will be the leader, the absolute leader of the Jose Berrios fade train, and I'm going to be all for it.
Hey man, I'm looking forward to it. He was pretty much second to Corbin last year. Like it was just every week like a calendar just going against Berrios. But hey, he's had a whole off season. You know, maybe he turns things around. Who knows?
Bobby Boucher. Hey, we were just talking about this game. Dude, it's so tough for me. It's very tough for me to fade a heavy sinker baller there. And I know he sucked in spring training, but his like everybody's going to look at the old numbers from last year. And you have to remember he was a reliever for about 80% of the year, right? And then he moved to a starter and his ERA dropped like four full runs, right? So it's tough. I need to see a little bit more from him. I was thinking about fading him as well. I would probably just take the Cubs to win or the Cubs first 5 money line versus the over. Just with a heavy sinker baller, that's how you have to pitch there, you know, and it's that ballpark is just straight runs. So it's tough for me because obviously Smiley's more of a guy who can sink it, but does have that overhand curveball that does like to go up in the air. So, I mean, it's tough. We were just talking about this. That's why we were a little bit late this morning because we were talking about this game. So I'm very much like split. I don't know where I want to bet. Like this, like again, this is a spot where this early in the season, when we're having our success like that we're having, it's because we don't have 35 plays. Like even on a full slate, my max was like 9 to 10, right? Like that's max out how many plays I'll have. And in this one, I could see both things happening. I don't have an edge. When you have a sinker baller in a place like that, you know, it's tough. It's tough. But I do really like the Cubs today if I'm going to take like a first 5 money line spot.
Yeah, no, I like that analysis right there. Sometimes when we're early on this year, the best bet is just to sit back and watch, and collect that data. We play a lot of games in the baseball season, so you don't have to get them all out the way today. We got plenty of time to make money.
Exactly. All right, guys, we're heading into it. It's about that time. Let's start us off here. Stu, I'll kick it over to you. Which one do you want first?
It doesn't matter, man. Just fire one at me. We'll go. Okay, sounds good. I had one first five and then one hit parlay. We'll go with the first five. Twins, first five money line, -130. You can get like -125 if you have like win bet or one of those spots as well. But that's not most of us are, FanDuel, Caesars, all that stuff. And that's where you got the -130. We got Molly versus Cueto right here. One of the number one things. First of all, I'm pretty high on Molly. I only drafted one best ball lineup, and I do have Molly. I also have my guy Graham Ashcraft, who started the season off very well last night. Shout out to him, over 15 and a half outs. But Molly had he had a solid season last year. He was a little bit down, dealing with some injuries. The ERA got up there a little bit. I believe it was 4.40, but a lot of the underlying metrics I saw, like expected ERA, did have him a little bit lower than that, kind of showing some maybe regression to the 2021 form. But we did see last season, even when he wasn't necessarily on his A game, he's very good against lefties. Got those reverse splits going on. I do think that's especially concerning to a team like the Fish, where you got Chisholm, you got Arias, some of their best players on the left side of the ball. Sanchez a little bit farther in that 5 or 6 slot. Just some tougher matchups for these guys right here. I do think that Cutter combination is a little bit tough. I was looking at Arias. He's always a hit parlay guy for me, but definitely struggles with that cutter on the inside. And that's what he's going to get right here in a little bit of a tougher match. But I just think it's a kind of clear class difference, right? Cueto is hanging around. He's a veteran. He's still pitching a little bit better than I may have expected this time in his career. But I think these are just two teams on two different levels. I expected this to maybe be like -150, -160. I think it's probably heading in that direction by the end of the day. So I'm going to lock it in right now and get ahead on the Twins' first five money line right here.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I will be very, very much surprised to see this staying at this number. I like the Twins. I bet them a lot. I really do. But yeah, no, I think you did a really good job breaking that one down. So I like the Twins as well. Let's get into my first one. We're going plus money to start. We're going to plus money. Mookie Betts to record a hit. I'm going with Drew Rasmussen, 4Ks, which is -196 on FanDuel, which is a little off, man. I feel like that's a little off. They should be giving me a little bit more love on my guy who got drafted by the Brewers. Shout out the Brewers, even though they should not have got rid of him. It was terrible. I'm not happy about it, if you couldn't tell. But let's talk about Drew Rasmussen a little bit here. Obviously, he had very good numbers last year. XFIP was fantastic. I think another guy who's going to be fine with the numbers here on the shift. I do like, though, just the amount of stuff he has, right? Even you just go to last year, they have a 4-seam cutter, curveball, sinker, slider all on there. Obviously, the sinker and slider weren't thrown too much. They also put something that they call a sweeper on there as one of his pitches, which I think is absolutely hilarious. You don't see that very often. But obviously, I do like that he has the cutter. The cutter is going to be something that I feel like is just going to be stuff to be almost like a start-off pitch, like to lead off an at-bat, just to either get you a first pitch ground ball. He does very, very well at being efficient in innings. We're not seeing him get too deep into counts. It's 1-2. We're trying to go right at him, right? We see a lot of times, especially with younger pitchers, trying to play around a little bit, trying to get guys to chase, right? Where if you have the stuff, especially like a guy like Rasmussen who has a 28% whiff rate on that sweeper, he's got a 31% on the curveball. His cutter is a pitch, right? I talk about the cutter not being a pitch that really gets a ton of swings and misses. His is still 30%, right? So really good stuff. I'm hoping that his slider takes a little bit of a step forward because it really wasn't used too much last year, but had a 40% whiff when used. I'm sorry, we had to talk about the Nationals a little bit there, but outside of Kybert, I mean, if he goes through the lineup 4 times, I think he strikes out CJ Abrams 4 times, bro. I watched a lot of his at-bats because he is on my bench in fantasy. He's one guy I wanted to stash, but man, those ABs are terrible. It's tough to watch on those. Early on in the season, again, I always like to lean towards the pitchers having the advantage. But unfortunately, I can't really say that for Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts has come out and started out very hot. He's got a hit in 3 of his 4 games to start the season against the Diamondbacks, facing off against Ryan Feltner, who personally, I still think should be in the bullpen. He is not a guy that should be starting for the Rockies, but that just shows you where the Rockies are as an organization and in their faith in their pitching staff, right? As a reliever, he had a 0 ERA in about 4 innings, but when he got promoted to being a starter, his numbers kind of fell off because he just can't get through the order that many times, right? He's a guy who has good enough stuff to probably get you through once, but first time through the order, not too bad. After that, this stuff just starts skyrocketing, right? His K percentage goes down each time. His xFIP keeps going up, and up. Ends up at like 5.37 second time through the order, third time through the order, which is really scary when you have Mookie Betts starting off a lineup, right? I was thinking about Freddie Freeman, but there's really not as much like you having Freddie Freeman behind you versus having like Will Smith behind you is a little bit different, right? You can't really walk Mookie to get to Freddie Freeman because Freddie Freeman is Freddie Freeman. Dude, the dude just rakes, right? So it's really tough when you have a guy like that. They're very, very top heavy in this lineup, like JD Martinez batting cleanup, right? The bottom of that order is not like they're batting that over 10 or whatever at the bottom of that lineup. Like there's a lot of parts to this team that are unproven. Mookie ain't one of them, right? This is definitely a spot I want to attack Feltner in, and definitely a guy that I will probably continue to fade in the future this year.
Yeah, when I saw that later matchup, I was definitely with you right there. Mookie's a clear. I think there's a lot of clear candidates. I think the Dodgers put up some runs. You could see a 5 at bat kind of game, and you absolutely love to, like you said, the guys up there at the top of the order and not a threat to be like benched. You know, when you bet some of these middling guys, they do get pinch hit for sometimes. So not having that threat at all right there is obviously good. Rasmussen, I would say the biggest concern. Washington does have a lot of contact guys. I do think there are some clear targets in that lineup, but like you said, if he can get like a good 5 innings in here, then 4 strikeouts should be very easy. I know his leash wasn't super long in the spring, so I wouldn't maybe expect much more than 5 innings. But if he just gets that 5 inning mark, I agree with you. And especially Ruiz caught all 3 games in that opening series. I would not be surprised if they went to Riley Adams today, kind of gave him a day off, with a new series coming as well. That would be a great strikeout target there. So I like this one. I think the volume's good. I like it's plus money too.
Yeah, no, and early on in the season, like I bet you in like 3 weeks, Mookie Betts in this same matchup is like minus 380, right?
Yeah.
It's just that I talk about it as a guy in baseball, right? You give the advantage to the pitchers pretty heavily early on. It's just, I mean, this is such a big talent difference for Feltner to try to get out this Dodgers top of the lineup there. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of these questions. We got 50 of you guys in here live. We appreciate you guys hopping in here and joining us. And popping into Pass the Prop. Hopefully, if you're new here, drop some questions, right? We'll definitely try to get to as many as we can. We're going to try to go through our picks a little quicker because it looks like we got a lot of you guys in here who want to know some stuff about some games here. And we have a guy talking. Hey, you're speaking my language, my man. We're talking some Brewers. I cannot bet Freddie Peralta today. There's absolutely no reason that I would bet Freddie Peralta today. I need to see that velo back. The velo was so down last year. If I see that velo pop back up, same thing with Tyler Mahle, right? Tyler Mahle's that same way. His velo was down last year, and it was a huge concern. But in spring training, you just saw his velo pop, right? His velo went back up, which gives you a little bit more confidence, right? Freddie's velo was down significantly. Spin rate was still the same, which is obviously how he still got guys out with the fastball. But this Mets lineup is nothing to like it's not something you can just like try to go through and not have your best stuff. In Milwaukee, he does throw better. I do really like this game, but oh man, dude, I almost lean the runs in this game. Honestly, their first game back at home, right? This is the home opener. I really almost wanted to go. It starts at 1, but man, I can't. This is one I have to pass. I can't bet Freddie today.
Yeah, I mean, you're the Brewers guy here, so I'm going to take your word for it 100% right there.
Perfect. All right. We're happy to see you in here, my guy. And hopefully we can get some more winners for you today. Hey, that's another way to look at it, man. That's another way to look at it. Hey, now we can just make the money fading the Nationals now, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we did in here last year. I mean, there was tons of bets against the Nationals. And, hey, I'm going to wear the hat just so you know that I love them and I'll always love them, but I'll still bet against them all the freaking time. And you guys will get to see that pretty much every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, I got this one just sitting right here now, just so I have it always ready for the MLB shows. Chicago versus the Giants should be Rake City. Interesting. Yeah, it's nice day out right now. Actually, I'm not that high on the Giants offense at all. So I'm a little bit honed back on that. And DeSclafani, I only play DeSclafani when he's at home, right? When he's in the big park of San Francisco, because we've seen him have a lot of home run issues, especially when he was with the Reds. So I would definitely say I think the White Sox could be Rake City. Kopech is still in that spot where like we don't know what he's gonna be yet. But this is not a good hitting Giants team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched that. They almost, yeah, dude, man, it's bad. It was bad.
The Giants, their offense is awful to watch. I mean, like, I kind of agree with you. Kopech is so 50-50 for me, too. It's like last year, I remember he'd come in, K a bunch of guys, or he walks 4 guys. Like, the path to the Giants kind of scoring runs here is a lot more unorthodox. I think there's a lot of walks, some control issues from Kopech, again, stuff like that. But yeah, and isn't Manea possibly going to come in too? Isn't this?
Yeah, they use a long relief or something.
Yeah, so I don't know. This game for me is kind of I don't like messing with overs with the Giants though. Just to be honest, that offense is very, very brutal. There's not really much to like look forward to unless you think I don't know. Some of these guys are going to turn it around maybe, but I agree. I like the White Sox. I would just rather just take the White Sox. But then again, I need to see Kopech first as well. So that was a pass for me.
Yeah, Kopech is good at home. 3.01 ERA versus 4.26 on the road with a 157 batting average against. Like, really tough, right? That's very good numbers. Righty lefty. I know Jay asked about that. Righty lefty was pretty similar. Lefties, he actually, since he has that really, really good changeup, right? He actually has double the K percentage against lefties, 28.8% versus 14.5%. Something that obviously is kind of scary if you're trying to back an over here. But if the ball gets it put in play, I think we're going to see the runs, right? I just don't know if it's going to be because Kopech has good enough stuff to miss bats at a very high rate at this level. And the stuff he has is the reason why he was such a huge prospect, right? With the Red Sox, he was huge, man. He was absolutely huge. So very tough for me to want to bet runs. If I'm betting anything, I'm betting the White Sox. That's it. That's really the only thing you can even bring up at this point. And one last thing on this before we get to our last plays is Michael Kopech, dude, he almost fizzled out at the end of the year. That really kind of scared everybody, right? Because he started going over his innings limits, right? Let's just look at March and April last year. In 19 innings, he had a 148 batting average against with a 1.42 ERA. Something I'm willing to back. If you're going to start that well, you have that good of stuff early on in the season. I think it was because he got a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued going over that 100 innings mark. Just something to keep in mind with these younger pitchers, man. It's tough to get this many innings, right? It's a lot of innings on your arm. Oh gosh, hey, I saw it, man. I saw it before. We might talk about it. I haven't even looked at yesterday, dude. I'm still thinking about later tonight's slate. Yeah. I didn't even get down to there yet. So I'll look a little bit and see if I have any of my favorite fade guys on the slate. But outside of that, I probably won't have one. I do a dinger prediction on my YouTube play of the day when I do it at the end on Tuesdays. I'll give out one. So if I don't talk about it here for Tuesday, I will talk about it tomorrow on that. So we will have that. All right, Stu, time for number 2. Let's get it.
Yep, we're going Steven Kwan, Wander Franco to both record a hit, -114. This is the first hit parlay of the Pass the Prop MLB season over here. So I'm excited to bring it to you guys. And it's kind of like you said it, a little bit of foreshadowing just a couple of minutes ago. These are 2 guys that, in my opinion, in 2 weeks, these guys are going to be -310, -320. But because we get these early season matchups where they're not as confident, they're not hanging those numbers so high like they were at the end of last season, I think we're actually getting a very good price for two kind of elite like hit parlay category guys. And they're both guys that are going up against contact pitchers that are very contact hitters, right? Neither of these guys are very greedy. They'll both kind of take what you give them, which is something you definitely like, right? Not someone that's looking to get a double every single at bat, someone that's just getting those singles when you need them. And we'll start with Franco right here against Williams. The thing I like about both of these guys is they both hit very, very well against the opposing players' best pitches, right? So we're going to see Williams bring out that four-seam fastball more than 50% of the time, which Franco is hitting over 340 against, dating back to last year. I'm not using this year's stats, by the way. We're like 3.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely. More way to do it.
It would be real funny, though, if I was like Steven Kwan's hitting 1,000 against the four-seam fastball. Just use those nice 3-for-3 at bat. But both of these guys against the opposing starting pitcher, they're both very fastball-heavy guys, and they both crush the four-seam fastball. None of these guys hit under 278 against the opposing pitcher's best pitch. There's just two guys that I'm very, confident in. They both give me those hits all the time. They're in good matchups against contact pitchers that aren't striking guys out, right? They're leaving balls in the zone. I think both these guys go out there. They give me that single that we're looking for. Both also at the top of the order, could see that potential extra at bat at the very end. I'm knocking both these guys. I think it should be minus 130. So minus 114, Kwan and Franco to both record a hit right here.
All right, guys, smash that like button. 50 of you guys in here, officially 51 of you. And before I get into my last play, this is true because if you look at, dude, I'm telling you right now, the amount of people that are about to lose money tomorrow on Dinger Tuesday is about 98% of you guys, because all of the number ones, 90% of the number ones are coming back, right? This is their second start, dude. Castillo, Urias, you have Alcantara, right? Dude, all of those guys are throwing tomorrow. This is the day to bet the homers. If you're going to bet homers, bet them today when you're facing off against the number 5s. You're talking about my boy Matthew Boyd that I'm going to fade the hell out of, and that's what I'm going to bring into my next one here. I love what you talked about with Wander Franco. I'm going to be back in Randy Arozarena there. Randy has a hit in all 3 of the games so far this year, batting 300, 3 for 10. OPS looking fat over 1,100. Obviously, this dude has speed, easily able to beat the ball out on a ground ball in the infield. I really like the Rays today, dude. Oh my God. I'm probably going to bet too much money on the Rays today, but that is for another time, another place to talk about that. But yeah, I really like fading Trevor Williams, dude. I've liked it since he's been in a Pirate uniform. I've loved fading him. And Kyle Tucker, this is a very pro Kyle Tucker fan club here. I'm probably sitting at the front of this and at the front of the Jose Barrios fade train. Both of them, I am sitting as the conductor because I love Kyle Tucker. He batted 3 yesterday with no Yordan. I really like to see that. I also really like fading Matthew Boyd today. Check out my YouTube play of the day. I talked about this even deeper, but Kyle Tucker rakes, dude. He just absolutely rakes. This dude is awesome, does everything well. Again, hit in 3 of 4 games so far this year. And I can't get away from this Matthew Boyd stuff because Matthew Boyd didn't barely through last year. I think sub 30 innings last year. Absolutely sucked on the road, dude. He is a fly ball guy that you cannot pitch like that in Houston. That is such a short porch to left. We've seen Kyle Tucker hit home runs that way, just hitting them as a pop-up into the Crawford boxes. Like, there is so many things going against Matthew Boyd here. Like, this is a terrible matchup to come back off of an injury for. To go face the Astros at home, like, that's disgusting, right? Over a 5.5 ERA on the road, 2021. He had a 304 batting average. He had a 270 batting average to lefties, 250 to righties, right? And as a guy coming from that 3/4 arm slot, you'd expect lefties to suck against you, right? You're coming from a slot that looks like the ball's coming behind the guy, and you still can't get the lefties out, right? They're hitting better, right? And obviously I talked about Kyle Tucker till I was red in the face when we started talking about him as my MVP pick. Dude is still above average against lefties, right? He's above average against lefties. He is way above average against righties. And I think Kyle Tucker just absolutely gets the job done again today. I really, really like this spot. I made this both on FanDuel, so make sure you guys do check them on DK because this definitely is an option. I will be switching that right now because I feel like that is a big enough book for me to feel okay with that. I mean, I have 2+ money plays. Woo! We're going to be making that bank today, boys. I'm feeling great about both these guys And hey, fade Trevor Williams, baby. He may not be the wagon that is Jose Barrios, but he's pushing his way up there.
And I don't know. I think that'll be good. I like both that we're both kind of on the same side of that one. I know you're big on Tucker already off to a pretty solid start to the year as well. So definitely going to be telling those hit parlays. We love doing those around here. It's definitely one of our most common markets. So I'm glad we're both on the same page right here. And I love the plus money in both of them as well.
Yeah, again, I would assume in a spot against Matthew Boyd in about 3 weeks that Tucker is sub 300, right? Minus 300. Especially if they're going to have him in that 3 or 4 spot. You have Jose Abreu there too as well, which is obviously very nice to have. But dude, I'm going to have a lot of guys that I bet a lot, right? The guys that you just get comfortable betting in where they're very good at and what they do well. And Kyle Tucker obviously works counts well and obviously can hit both sides of the plate extremely well. So, hey, we love it, Jay. Happy to see you back in here for year 2 MLB season with us. And hopefully we can get another profitable season like we had last year. This one is plus 108. Thank you, Jay, again for doing that one. Hopefully we can win it for you, Pedro. Again, we have over 50 of you guys in here. If you guys do have any questions, I will drop them now. I know like I said at the beginning of the show, we do have a hard deadline here. So hopefully, if you guys are in here, drop them now. If you guys have questions after, send them in. We'll get to them. But I know we just want to obviously get to everybody else's who are in here. I guess this could be a fun one. What game do you see the most homers in? We're going today's slate, or what team are you going to look at? What team are you looking at here, Stuart? Do you have anyone that you're looking at to see homers from?
I mean, can I not just say the Great American Small Park game?
I mean, that one I would assume is pretty. That one I feel like we can't use.
That feels like the cheat code right here. I mean, I'm not. There's not a name. I guess I haven't bet that many home runs to be. I would say the Yankees Phillies. That's so many high concentration home run hitters on both sides. You got Judge, you got Stanton, Schwarber, even Hall, the young guy, hits a lot of bombs and strikes out a lot. So I'd say Phillies Yankees is probably the most likely one that I would go to right there too.
All right. Aaron just asked that play. This was the plus 108 there. My guy that's on DraftKings. I do like that Fenway Park look. I want to be a little bit contrarian here. I really like that Braves Cardinals game. I really like that Braves Cardinals game to see some homers. Charlie Morton is giving up 2 today. I don't care what anybody says. If that dude leaves anything up to that team, he is getting raked. I'm feeling if the Cardinals are not that expensive on DK today, I'm probably stacking them just because they're going to be super, super low owned. Because everybody's like, oh man, Charlie Morton, man, that's a big high level name. Dude's velo ain't there, right? If he's throwing those breaking balls and they're up early on, dude, this ball is getting smoked. So I lean there as my more contrarian look to it. I think that we see a few homers from the Cardinals side, and Woodford obviously is not anybody I am scared about at all. So Bet365 has plus 113. I'll keep the 108 just because DK is a little bit of a bigger option there for anybody who has it. All right, let's look. Is there any other questions? Did you see any of them up there, Sue, at all?
No, I didn't see any more. But like you said, too, if you're not here live, we know it's the middle of the day. You can always hit us with a question in the comments or DMs, all that stuff as well. And we will get to them because, hey, a lot of stuff still breaks. We got to get those lineups, all that kind of stuff. So we're always around 24/7 for those questions.
All right, Stu. Let's get a recap in, and I think I might have found my long shot here. So let's do it. I'll kick it over to you. 55 of you guys in here. Appreciate you guys. Let's get it.
Sounds good. I started out with the Twins first 5 money line minus 130 over on FanDuel, taking on the Fish. Then we went over to the hit parlay. We're at Stephen Kwan of the Guardians and Wander Franco of the Rays minus 114 over on FanDuel as well.
All righty. My 2 plays are going to be Kyle Tucker plus Randy Arozarena hit parlay at plus 108. And then I'm going Mookie Betts to get a hit to go along with Drew Rasmussen 4 strikeouts at plus 103. All right, Stu. Let's let me type in yours here. What were the odds again? Plus 480?
Plus 400, I believe.
400. All right, here we go. Not that one.
Yep, I went Esteury Ruiz on the Athletics over or to have a stolen base plus 400. This is around plus 400, 390. I think 410 was on MGM earlier, but they're real unreliable. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're off the book. So I'm going with the 400 right here, right in the middle. Ruiz is someone we talked about in the preseason future show. I did have that over 29 and a half stolen bases, absolutely tearing up the minor leagues. I just think it's one of those spots where stolen bases are going crazy right now, right? We've seen the success rate absolutely skyrocket. I know the numbers are historically high, or at least in the 2000s era so far. And I just want to keep hitting on super fast guys that are above plus 300. Now that's kind of the strategy. So yesterday, Corbin Carroll was the move, got him at plus 330 in the absolutely amazing matchup. Right here, we got another incredibly fast guy, Ruiz. I just think 400 is too high of a price. The biggest deal is obviously getting on base. That's kind of the harder part. But I'm just going to continue to attack these kind of misplaced stolen bases lines. So I got Ruiz 400 right here, and I did get Siri 600 against Washington as well, which I just made right before the show. So a lot of good stolen base numbers out there.
Oh God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I did not plan on having a long shot today, guys. I really didn't. But I found it. I found one. I'm like, Stu's gonna go plus 400. You guys know I can't let Stu go higher than me. You know that. That's why I always make him go first, so I know how high it is, so I can play a higher one. And we're going to it. It's Fade Train, baby. We're going Vinny Pasquantino to hit a home run today against the Mr. Fade himself, Jose Barrios. They're giving me 8-1 almost to hit a homer for this dude. This guy has one of the highest exit velos charts from last year. I get it. He's been sucking to start the season. But this is a way bigger step down, right? From the Twins' first three starters, right? We're pretty high on Ryan, right? I mean, we talked about him a bit. Sonny Gray hasn't been really a home run prone guy, but guess who is Mr. Home Run prone? That's going to be my guy, Jose Barrios, right? 20 nukes to lefties last year. In 89 innings pitched. That is not something you want to see. Vinny Pasquantino last year at home had 6 homers in 107 at-bats, batting .318. A guy I definitely wanted to look at. You can't really use him for hit parlays because he just hits the ball so hard. You might as well just take his total bases, right? It's not even worth betting him in hit parlays, but I'm getting a great hitter here. This dude smokes the ball, has one of the highest hard hit percentages. His numbers are off the freaking charts. And now you're going to give me a guy who loves to give up hard hit baseballs, and he's going back home. Woo, baby. We're about to fucking crush this shit. 750? Dude, this should be like plus 500. I don't even get it. I really don't even get it.
I love this. I'm running to go bet this right now. Sorry, I had to go take a quick little pause right there. This number feels way too high. Like, I haven't looked at the advanced numbers this season so far, but this is
bad. Don't look at this year.
Okay, I was gonna say, because Vinny P was like the most hyped up guy in fantasy baseball. Like, all the sharp minds are like, this is your next superstar in fantasy baseball right here. And I obviously saw those exit velo numbers from last year, especially in the second half at the very end, were pretty insane. So plus 750 against Barrios. We're going to get to fade him this early in the season. I'm down with that. I love that number. We'll definitely be telling this play right here.
Yeah, just the blatant disrespect of this man is wild. I get it. Yeah, dude. Because guess what? I bet you Adam Duvall is like, what, plus 300? Just because he's been hot, right? Like, that's crazy to me just how much recency bias comes into it. Because, yes, he has been brutal to start the year. So, definitely really like that spot. Dude, Vinny P hits nukes. Dude, he hits the shit out of the ball. So, yeah, that's definitely the way you got to do it. It's total bases. There's no point in betting his hit because the dude's going to be hitting the ball 100 plus off the bat almost every time he touches it. So, definitely a good look. I do not bet my team very often, my guy. I'm sorry. I only will bet over and unders. I really don't bet on them personally. Again, I already talked about how I don't know how I feel about Freddie, right? I don't know how I feel about him yet. Again, you don't have to bet it. The MLB does a very good job of like putting those games that could definitely plus 830. God damn, FanDuel, kidding me? They do a very good job of putting these games early that are like pick'ems, dude. Like they're giving you them because everybody like, oh, no runs first inning, we got to play them, right? Dude, you know how many freaking runs are scored in these first innings in these early games? It's wild, dude. Do not force these bets. I'm telling you right now, the shit's gonna go way different, right? Everybody's gonna have put Yelich in their hit parlays. You know who's gonna get the freaking hit? Bryce Terang's gonna hit a nuke, and he's gonna be the guy that fucks everybody over, right? It's just tough, right? It's just this is not a game I'm willing to bet. You have a 40-year-old Carrasco throwing up against a Freddie Peralta who we haven't seen hit 90 in his last 10 starts. So like, how can I bet that? You know, it's just like there's so many variables early on in this spot. There's so many good games tonight too.
Yeah,
can get
also like you can bet on so many Met starters. Why would I bet on Cookie Carrasco today? Like that's absolutely not something I want to do. It like you said, Peralta is such a question mark on the other side. It's like the perfect fade game, which is hilarious that it is the early game and the only one that people are going to be betting on. I remember they did that all the time last year with the Reds. Like how many times I got to work, it was like 12 o'clock. I was like, I got to get some bets in for this day game. I need something to sweat. And I feel like the Reds played every freaking Friday afternoon last year. So it's always like that. It's always those kind of suspicious games they give you up in early.
Hey, they know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing. Yeah. I'm telling you, the plus 830 is what I'm seeing there on FanDuel. Plus 830.
Cookie crumbled at the
end.
You
did not call him Cookie. Hey, dude. Hey, that's his name, bro. That's literally his nickname. What do you want him to call him? Dude. Yeah. Again, another guy, Christian Walker, dude. You take total base or you hit homers. Don't touch his hit. The dude's gonna bat 220 this year. You're gonna guess right on a hit, and it's gonna be a homer, right? So
yeah, he might be going Jordan Walker too from that other game that you were talking about earlier with a lot of offense. That could have been it. We got Walkers.
No, yeah, I know Jordan Walker. I can't assume that he's gonna.
Oh, hey, he hits rockets off the bat too. Okay, I think he's right.
Well, he talked about fading weathers, and that's the Padres.
Oh, good point. Good point. I was thinking he's going back to earlier when you were saying you liked some action in that game, but no, we got a lot of questions today. A lot of people in here. I'm trying to think. I feel like I saw one that. Oh, someone said it's Alonso hitting a bomb today. You got any interest in that? Apparently, it's his birthday. We got the birthday narrative
going. Guys, I'm sorry. Like, this is my team. You realize I watch like every game. This is such a hard team to bet on, dude. They can't hit and they can pitch. And there's gonna be games where it's Garrett Mitchell. There's gonna be games where it's rarely like the guys you think it's gonna be, right? They're not a team that hits that many homers. They're gonna be a very low team on the swiping spot unless you take Terang or Mitchell. Those would be guys to look at because no one knows them yet. So I worked with Terang. I posted that picture. And Terang was like 31 for 33. Did you just make that up, Stu?
I was reading the comment.
Dude, I literally think you made this up.
I didn't make it up.
I'm reading it now. I don't see anyone bringing up that it's his birthday.
I swear I read that earlier.
I think Stu just bullshitted that. Bro, like I'm looking through here and I can't find anyone saying it.
I'm pretty sure somebody asked. Okay, I just made that up. Okay, well, I didn't make that up then.
You're just changing his birthday, dude.
That's on me. Not his birthday.
Hey, that's the hard deadline there, bro. That's why there's a hard deadline there.
I wish I got work to do. Okay, I got to get on out of here and do something way less interesting than this. But okay, not his birthday. Be on the lookout. December 7th, obviously.
Dude, they're just coming up here and just fucking posting this shit. It's hilarious. Oh, God. Dab pen money line.
Crazy.
Yeah. No Vinny on Caesars anymore. Damn. Hey, we like that. It means we took their money, hopefully. But, yeah. Stu, what do you got for the people here? We got, like I said, there was a lot of people in here tuning in, coming by us live, which is awesome. We're really happy to see all of you guys. What do you got for them? Still about 40 of them in here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what you think. I got Willie Adames over 1.5. What do you call it? Like hits, runs, and RBIs is a little sprinkle for the early game. I had to get something in, a little bit of a fade of Carrasco right there. So if you do want any early game little sprinkles right there, that's what I did end up betting. I posted that one, my little prize pick slip over there. But yeah, a lot more action coming on MLB for the rest of the day. We'll both be over on Twitter, Pickett, Discord, all that kind of stuff. So just make sure to keep following. We do have college basketball. I don't have any bets there. All those lines look really sharp to me. So just focused in on MLB today, but we'll have some more action as the rest of the week comes on. I will say though, this is the last Pass the Prop of the week. It looks like I'm leaving the country. I will be gone, so it'll just be this one, and you'll have to catch us again next week.
Yeah, I know I wasn't going to be available Friday. Maybe I'll pop a live on Wednesday as a memorable one or something. Maybe I'll just go live and do that. But yeah, no, it's and I know Friday for sure I wouldn't be able to anyway. So it worked out well that it all did it like that. So Carlos, they do not play each other today, unfortunately. Caprillion is on the A's. And Ohtani is on the Angels. I believe the Angels is Seattle today because I was looking at maybe possibly fading Mr. Kirby tonight there. So I do not believe they play each other. Let me look. I don't think we have anything else. All right. Thank you guys. 45 of you guys made it 45 minutes with us. I know I don't know how you guys did it. I don't know how you guys all lasted here this long with us, but we appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, 6 straight profitable shows. We're going for 7, and this is our first full MLB slate doing it. So really excited. Best of luck to you guys tonight. And again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We will get to those later. I usually get the notifications, everything there, so I usually be able to get to them for you. So have a good one, guys, and best of luck today. And let's crush the slate.